Hello, it's Jay here again, and welcome to this, the first video of a new year. And we're just going to dive straight in. We're going to work on the spawn block script, and we're going to actually work on two things. And that is, I want to count down before the blocks start falling. So like a countdown to game start, 3, 2, 1. And we also need to hold a block. So we're going to work on both of those features at the same time. And we're going to begin in the spawn block script, and we're going to create of public. And this can be static string. And it's going to be held block ID. Close that off. And into the comments, create a string that will store the held block. Let's have a look. I'll put this with this public bool underscore, and we'll put releasing block. And into the comments, creates a bool that will indicate, and we can put whether we are releasing the held block. And we'll create type public float this time underscore intro countdown. And we'll close that off. Into the comments, creates float to store the intro countdown value. So with those created now, we can actually get into defining what they are, and then we can move on to what they will do. So I'll begin in void start, and let's just copy one of these lines. So I'll copy the next block ID line, and I'll just change that to held block. And we're going to change it there as well. And let's put this here. We're going to set releasing block to equal false. And we'll just put in the comments that that's what we're doing, setting this bool to false on startup. And I'll actually put that with those, and we'll put this separately for the intro countdown. We'll set that value to 3. And again, we'll just pop that into the comments to equal 3 on startup. We'll just save it off there for the moment. So we've defined our variables. We've set the variable state on startup. Now we can actually begin doing some coding. And we're going to begin in the void update. So we're going to say if open and close brackets, the intro countdown is greater than 0. And we'll just put that into the comments. So is greater than 0, what we're going to do is say intro countdown minus equal 1, because we want to count down 1 second at a time. We'll say times dot delta time so then we'll put this into the comments. So we'll put decrease the intro countdown by 1 second at a time. You can put that if you wish. But with that in place, we need to prevent a negative. So we're going to say if underscore intro countdown is less than 0. So again, we'll just put that into the comments. Then we'll set that to equal 0. And this just helps us prevent a negative value. Sometimes it can, even though this says greater than 0, sometimes this line can be read after it goes below and before another bit of code kicks in. So it can occasionally go into a negative. This just prevents that. And let's just save that off. And we'll come to the game, the main camera. So here we go. And we have the intro countdown and we have releasing block. This should stay unticked because we've set it to false. Intro countdown should go to 3 and then should slowly decrease. So as you can see, it does. That stays, I'll just hit that again so you can see. 3, 2, 1, 0. So the countdown is now working. And what we need to do is come below. We're going to create another if statement. And this is going to be if we're releasing a held block. So we're going to say if releasing block equals false. And we're going to create another if statement inside there. The intro countdown equals 0. And we're going to use double and. And what we're going to do is actually this if statement below what we had in before. If current block equals null. We're just going to cut current block equals null. Let's paste that in. And then we'll enter. And then what we're going to do is cut and paste the line where we call the choose next blocks function. And we can get rid of what left, which is just this if with the brackets. I'll break that line up for commenting. So if intro countdown equals 0 and current block equals null. Then call the next block function. So we're just going to save that off there. Now this should not affect our game as it is, so let's just start that up and check. Wait for the countdown to finish. And yes, we are going to have GUI for that countdown. We are going to have 3, 2, 1 displayed on the screen. But we'll do the GUI in a separate video. So let's have a look here. I'll just get rid of that empty line. I'll make sure all that's saved off. So spawn block equals true. Choose the next block. Spawn block false. That can remain as it is. And what we're going to do is come to, edit project settings. We're going to come to the input. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to rename the fire button. So we'll begin with fire 1. And I'm going to name this hold_button. And for now, I'll just use keyboard controls. We will come back and add joystick controls. But I just want to get this working to begin with. So the hold button is now created. And what we're going to do is come below here and we're going to create an if statement. And it's going to be of type input get button down. We're going to open and close brackets. Inside the brackets, we're going to put the quote marks. I'll paste the naming convention of the button I've just created in there. So I'm going to put if input equals the hold_button. You could put that in quote marks if you wish. And then let's create another button for release. So I'll change the fire to release_button. And I'll use Q for that this time. You can use any key you wish. So please be aware of that. You don't have to use the same key I am. You can even use different naming conventions if you wish. So it's all what you prefer. I may change these buttons myself, to which keys assigned. I'm just using this for now. What I always recommend to do is to copy the name you've used from the input manager, and that way when you paste it into the code you know it's correct. Any mistake at all and it will not work. It is case sensitive, so just be aware of that. And in fact, we'll get this in place as well here. We're going to put and held block ID does not equal null. So for does not equal, we use an exclamation point and then an equals rather than the double equals. Let's break that up for commenting. Sorry, I'll put and the held block ID does not equal null. So I just like to put some of these comments in capitals. And you don't have to do this if you don't wish. It just helps when you come back to a script, particularly if the script's long. It can just help matters if you have capitals. It just helps everything jump out a bit where you've got two conditions. So, but obviously, as before, you whatever you think's best. Your comments are your own, whatever helps you to remember. And finally, in this lesson, we'll create a private void, and we're going to call this spawn next block. And we'll just open close brackets, open and close again. And in fact, we should really put in debug logs, so let's do that for these functions now. So let's go those in place. And I'll just do this for the other functions. So that's for choose next block. And we'll do it for the spawn block. Now this script's getting more complicated. It will help us if we need to debug. It certainly helps me if I need to, when I'm debugging code. It will help you as well, or can help you if you do make a mistake in typing out this code. So debug logs are always a good idea. But I think we'll leave it there for this lesson. We've done quite a bit. We're set up so we can jump straight into this for the next video. So as always, I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I hope to see you next time. And until then, as always, bye for now.